guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is John Moica and we're here for another vlog. And this vlog is my project in practice management in Emilio, Aguinaldo College, Manila. In this project, we need to interview some dentists, so be right back guys. Good morning Doc, good morning classmates. My name is Jennifer D. Mojica, your host for today. And in behalf of my groupmate Ate Ana, who is not here because she is sick, and to accompany me, Vivian Taduran, who is also present to help me for the technicalities of this interview. So let's start. For my guest, he graduated Doctor of Dental Medicine from Manila Central University way back 1987 and passed the board exam in the same year. He was a retired military civilian of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, also the president of a dental AFP chapter. He also studies forensic dentistry, orthodontics, and now a private dentist from Marikina City. May we call on Colonel Michael S. Chu. Good morning, Doc.
Jen Mojica, future colleague, and Vivian Daryl Taduran, another colleague, future dentist, be practicing in the Philippines. Maraming salamat sa pag-imbita nyo.
And thank you so much, Doc, for accepting my invitation. As I mentioned, Doc, all your credentials a while ago, can you please tell us more about yourself?
Um, in how many minutes? Because it will take time. Because I've been practicing almost from 1987 to up to this time, 2020. After graduation, okay, I enter in the on-the-job training program at Camp Aguinaldo in 1988. Then I enter in the service in 1989 as first lieutenant. After that, and so on and so on, I've been assigned to the different far-flung unit in the Philippines. Then I mentioned a while ago, I just retired this year, last June 17, 2020. And you mentioned a while ago, my field of specialization, I'm an orthodontist and a forensic odontologist. And there are a lot of foreign schooling abroad, which were given by the Armed Forces of the Philippines through United States Armed Forces. I underwent 2 trainings in California and 1 in New York, together with my family who joined me during our training. That's the privilege I got from the military. And I am married and 1 daughter, Michelle Terence Chu, who is now taking up law. My wife is also a dentist, a retired military dental officer. That's all.
Thank you so much, Doc, for introducing yourself further. And let's go back to the time when you were a dentistry student. What is the main reason for you choosing dentistry as your profession?
During that time, the dental practice in the Philippines is very lucrative. Since taking up to become a medical doctor, it will take you 8 years and it will entail a lot of financial resources coming from your family. So the easiest way to become a doctor is take up dentist. Since I mentioned a while ago, it's a very lucrative profession. During that time, you will earn a lot being a dentist. And besides, when you graduated as a dentist, you have a lot of options. You can join the government, you'll be a private practitioner or a member of academy.
As you mentioned, Doc, that the dentist is the easiest way to become a doctor. Is it true, Doc?
Yeah, it's true. Because a lot of college professor in our school in Manila Central University, they took up first to become a dentist. After that, during their teaching days, they took up medicine. I will mention 2 of our professors who are dentists first before they become a medical doctor. Dr. Puson and another one, I think Dr. Navarro. They took up dentistry first, then after that, they took up medicine. So they are double doctors.
Moving on to the next question. During your time as a student, what are the subjects you hate and also the subjects you love the most?
The subject I love most is oral anatomy because it is challenging. During that time, it will be the first time to let me call my neuron cells. You will carve that during the time that the carving of the wax. You will carve central incisor up to the molars, upper and lower. It is very challenging because during that time, in recto, we use nail polish to make your creation more shiny. In fact, I kept that memorabilia. Unfortunately, it was destroyed during Ondoy. And the subject that I hate most is microbiology. because it is very difficult to distinguish cells from mitochondria, macrophages. It's very difficult. It's when you make slip to the microscope, it's very difficult to determine the colors of the cells because there's violet, orange. So the subject I like most is oral anatomy. That's all.
That's
Next question is, during your student clinician days, explain to us, Doc, about how you handle your first ever dental patient.
During that time, I think during the third year proper, you will have your clinic one.
yes.
Clinic one is same also in this period when you study. When you
Yes.
become a third year proper, you will enroll as clinic one.
Clinic one. Yes.
That's true.
Yes, Doc, it's Clinic 1.
Ang nirecall ko dyan, we are advised to have patient first. I think during the time, we have to pay the patient. It is a live patient. Unlike now, you have typodont. During our time, it is a live patient. So we are advised to oral prophylaxis first. Don't look for a
Calculate.
calcular deposit patient. Like calcular deposit only because during our time there is no electronic scaler. We use scaler 1, 2, and 3. That's the most difficult part. You may accidentally, during that time, I accidentally hit the patient in the gums. So there will be an intense bleeding. And during our time, our supervisors are very meticulous and very attentive in guiding you or molding you to be a good clinician.
So, since you already answered the second question about what's the challenge
Okay.
there
Sorry for that.
during your dental clinicians days, kasi nga, di ba, Doc, now we're using typodonts. Your time, no typodonts at all, patient agad.
Okay.
So, I
No time
guess
for that.
that's the
Okay.
challenge on your part.
And before you graduate, Doc, how's the feeling that you're already graduating? You finish all your clinical requirements and your theoretical requirements. Can you take us back, Doc, on that moment?
During that time, the didactic phase, which is theoretical, is more easier part. Kasi when you take an exam, you pass, then your professor will pass you. Unfortunately, the clinical part is the most difficult because in every dental chair, I think we are 5 who are using it. Since our surname in the alphabet is letter T, T-U-B-W-X-Y-Z. Unfortunately, there is no surname as Z, Y. So I think we are lucky that T-U-B, because my surname, we occupy, but we are only 3 dental students occupying that chair. That is Shu, myself, you, another classmate, and you. So, but my classmates have difficult time in getting a live patient because it entails resources. You have to pay another budget. Lucky enough, during that time, we have a shoe factory. Most of my patients are our laborers. So I don't need to share our payment. I just bring their children and also our laborer to the school. So you have only to feed them to, during that time, there's no Jollibee and McDonald's. I just treat them in burger machine.
And when you finally graduated, Doc, explain to us the feeling.
When you graduated dentistry, you are not being called a doctor yet. Kasi license is the most important. But it is one step of achieving your goal, which is become a doctor of dental medicine. But during 1980s, when you are a graduate of dentistry, sometimes other people may call you doc. So it serves as a motivation to study hard and achieve your goal, review harder, and pass the board exam. During the board exam, the first 3 days is theoretical and 2 days of practical examination. All live patient because during the time we don't use typodont or dummies.
Before taking the board exam, Doc, did you go to the review center or did you study or review by yourself?
During that time, most of the review center is in Recto. I think Inres Dental Review Center in San Sebastian. I enrolled on that review center. And lucky enough, most of the lecturers on the review center in the dental practice are former members of the dental board examination. So it will give you a hint on how to answer properly the multiple choice or the single response. During a time, most of the exam are single response. There's no essay. So you have 25% chances of passing if you guess right.
Doc, before din po ba, sabay na agad yung result ng theoretical and clinical part ng board exam? Or now kasi,
Yeah.
Doc, sabay na po. Ngayon
Oo,
kasi po,
sabay na
Doc,
siya.
di ba, we need to pass muna the theoretical part before we do the lab.
Okay. Okay. During that time, since it is not computerized yet, after theoretical exam, during that time, I took my theoretical exam in the PRC building, and my practical exam is in MCU. Theoretical first, after certain days, 2 days, 3 days, then practical exam. The result will be only one.
So it would be pass or fail po talaga pag kinombine yung
Yeah.
dalawang result, it's just be pass or fail.
But in the board exam is the most difficult is the theoretical. Like in the college days, the most difficult is clinical. But once you take up the board exam, the most difficult is the theoretical. And also it's time pressure.
Explain to us, Doc, about your military experience. Your dental
Military experience as a as a
yes po.
dentist. As a
Or
dentist in the
or
sige.
kung
Okay.
paano po kayo napapasok dun sa army field po?
Okay. In 1987, I undergone on-the-job training at Camp Aguinaldo Dental Dispensary. And since I enjoy treating military patients, I gained friends who helped me to enter the military service in 1989. Then tuloy-tuloy na, nagustuhan ng military training kasi ang military training, hindi ka lang naman as a dentist magkakaroon ka ng ibang experience mo. Like sa Navy, magiging dentist ka. At the same time, ikaw yung administrative officer. Pupunta kayo sa mga bawat islands in the Spratly. I-inspectionin mo yung ngipin nila. May dala ka na rin mga restorative treatment. Meron ka na rin machine. Magpapasta ka, oral prophylaxis, restorative treatment, extraction. Then after that, sasakay ka ng barko. Mag-enjoy ka kasi maganda ang scenery sa Palawan, especially in Palawan. I enjoy it very much kasi almost 3 years ako nag-serve sa Palawan. At marami kang magiging kaibigan na politician, middle class, low class family, at saka malalaman mo yung iba-iba nilang kultura, ibang culture, tas yung pagkain nila, paano kinakain ng mga Tamilok sa Palawan, yung mga maganda, tapos marami pang mga souvenirs. Kaya mag-enjoy ka sa military. Although, being away from your family, hindi ko nakita yung paglaki ng anak ko si Michelle. Ngayon na lang ako bumabawi kasi retired na, tsaka pandemic tayo. So, ang clinic lang by schedule na lang clinic. So, nandito lang ako sa residence namin. Yan lang. I just enjoy being the fruit of a retired military dental officer.
Next question, Doc, is it's just a rumor that if you are a dentist and apply in the government like AFP, BFP, PNP, or etc., is it true that you are one officer ahead?
Okay. I'm speaking about in the armed forces of the Philippines, because most of the armed forces of the Philippines, once you enter the military service, they are recruiting dentists who are a licensed dentist. So the initial entry in the military service is first lieutenant. After first lieutenant, you will wait for 4 years, then meet the requirement, schooling, you have to take up basic, specialization. After that, you will become a captain. Then after captain, you take up advanced, then to become a major. Then a major, then you have undergo study, take up masteral degree mo, then you become a lieutenant colonel. Then lieutenant colonel, you take up command and general staff course and take up PhD to become a colonel. That's the ladder of career of a dental officer. I'm talking about the armed forces, ha? I'm not talking about the PNP, Bureau of Fire, kasi baka iba yung lateral entry nila. Kasi sa PNP at saka Bureau of Fire, they call it lateral entry. In the armed forces, we call it commission, then call on active duty. That's all.
So you survive all of that, Doc? Kasi you're now a colonel eh.
Kasi naka-retired na ako ng maayos na kasi ano naman yan, kasi 30 years yung service mo, actually hindi 30 years, abot pa yata ng mga 32 eh. Kasi nag-start ng 87, pagka-graduate ng 87, 88, nag-OJT na ako eh. OJT na ako sa Camp Aguinaldo. So, tapos 88. Tapos 89, nag-probationary training na ako, and so on and so on. So, mga 32 years in the service ang ano mo.
So all in that,
Pinag-service mo sa...
in all
Okay,
of that,
sige, go ahead.
in all of that 32 years, andun na po lahat. Kasama na yung OJT, kasama na yung pag-angat po ng rank nyo, ganun po.
Oo, kasama na yan. Oo. Kasama na lahat yan.
So, thank you so much, Doc, for enlightening me about that part. And moving forward, let's talk about this pandemic.
Okay.
How old are you po ba, Doc?
I just turned 57 years old.
57.
57, yeah.
So, bata pa po pala. Pwede pang
Hindi,
lumabas.
malapit na. Pwede kasi hindi pa naman senior citizen eh.
Doc, tell me how dentistry that time before the pandemic until we became under the pandemic. How's dental life that time?
During that time, di ba, nagkaroon tayo ng pandemic is yung na-declare ng ECQ is March 17. Di ba? March 17, that's Monday. Nag-declare, nasa service pa ako kasi noon eh. Nag-declare June 17. Nakita ko yung comparison, yung average patient namin sa Bilo na dental clinic, nag-average kami ng around sa morning mga around 30, sa hapon mga 20, so 50 patient a day. Sabi na. Yung nagkaroon na yung ECQ, since ill-prepare ang government dental clinic talaga. Aminado ko kasi ako yung chief DSC that time, wala kaming extra oral vacuum machine, which is yung wala kami. Ill-prepare kami. Wala kaming UV light. Wala kaming HEPA filter. Air purifier, wala kami. Tapos, wala kaming prepared na PPE, personal protective equipment. So, napakahirap. Siyempre, it's first time kasi magkakaroon tayo ng ganitong pandemic, which is virus nga. During that time, hindi rin kaya talaga na ma-handle. Nag-limit kami ng pasyente sa Bilo na. Siguro, nagtitreat lang kami. Yung nabigyan na kami ng mga equipment, tsaka lang kami nagtitreat. Pero ang treat ng patient namin, nag-undergo siya ng thorough physical examination. Ibig sabihin, dadaan mo siya sa Bilo na hospital, kukunan siya ng BP, temperature, at saka during that time, wala pa naman swab test, temperature, tsaka BP lang. Then kukunin yung background niya, kung nagkaroon siya ng symptoms na fever, cold, at saka any sick na related sa COVID, bago siya papasok sa dental clinic, tsaka na ititreat ng mga dentist namin na during that time may PPE na. Pero yun ang nakita ko, medyo mahirap. Kaya ang naging output namin from 50 patient a day, parang siguro nagkaroon na kami ng around 6 patient a day. Talagang medyo mahirap. Tapos hindi muna kami gumamit ng mga rotary machine. Ang ginagamit namin is yung tinatawag nating automatic restorative treatment. Yun lang ang treatment namin. Tapos, ang tooth extraction namin, limited rin. Hindi kami wala kami mga impacted muna, tigil muna. Kasi wala pa kami mga intraoral vacuum machine. Until such time na nakabili kami, bago ako mag-retire, yun, nag-operate na kami full blast na. Sa private practice naman, nakikita ko, kasi nag-a-assist ako sa wife ko, tsaka si Vivian, nag-a-assist siya sa akin eh. Sa private practice, during that time, before pandemic, nag-a-average ng ilang, how many patient ang average mo pag patient? Pag Saturday?
6 to 7.
Okay. Ang average ng pasyente is pag Saturday, mga 8 patient a day, mga orthodontic treatment, tapos saka nung clinic pa ng Wednesday, ano? Tapos yung nagkaroon ng pandemic, ngayon, minsan makakuha ka ng 4 na pasyente na lang pag Saturday. nagtatawaran pa kayo. Kasi hindi, totoo lang naman. Kasi naka-PPE ka, siyempre, i-add-on mo eh. Kailangan i-add-on yung, kasi katulad sa clinic namin, mag-PPE ka, personal protective equipment mo. Wear 3M mask. Then, meron ka pang antivirus necklace. Tapos, naka-face shield ka, so and so. Tapos, paandarin mo yung meron kang high back. Meron ka pang intraoral vacuum machine.
Air
Meron ka pang
purifier.
HEPA purifier. May ano ka pa, ano ba yung UV light. Tapos mga alcohol dispenser mo, mga thermal scan. Talagang ang ina-add-on namin sa pasyente parang ano, aside from the dental treatment, kung nagpapasta ka, restorative, ortho, meron kang per patient, meron kang add-on na 500. Yun ang add-on. Kaya nga ang pasyente ngayon, bago pumasok sa clinic, siyempre, kukunin mo pa yung personal data niya. So, magsesend ka ng personal sheet mo sa kanya. Tapos, through email, then sasagutin niya. Tapos, kung mataas ang temperature, so hindi po pwede. So, may add-on na 500. Ang hirap i-explain sa pasyente bakit merong ganito. Sa una, pero yung iba naiintindihan nila kasi nakikita na nila sa video. Kasi in-explain sa pasyente ang importance ng PPE, hindi lang to protect the dentist and also to protect the patient. Kasi once the patient nahawa mo ang dentist, makakahawa ko sa another patient, then makukontaminate. Pag uwi mo sa pamilya mo, contaminate na naman. Kaya yun ang medyo mahirap i-explain talaga sa pasyente. Pero ngayon, patient are realizing the importance of personal protective equipment. Although when you wear it, talagang mag-sweat ka kahit na ang pulbas ng aircon mo. Talagang mag-sweat ka talaga ng ano. Kaya maganda nga when you do dental treatment, mas maganda, naka-short ka na lang, then naka-PPE ka. Then, ang t-shirt mo is white. Mas maganda. Tinitingnan ko lang ha. Ewan ko sa when you do clinical practice kasi iba ang setup ng clinical clinic at saka yung dental student kasi marami kayo eh. Baka ang high back nyo, baka mas malakas. Kasi ang high back ilang horsepower lang ang inaano eh. Yun lang napansin ko lang.
So thank you so much again, Doc. And moving next on our agenda is,
Okay.
you said, Doc, a while ago that you're from Marikina, and
Yeah.
Marikina is the one who is mostly affected by the Typhoon Ulysses.
Okay.
So how are you, Doc?
Okay. Ganun, kasi yung residence namin sa town and country, sa Antipolo ko eh. Ito yung nandito ko. Dito kami nabaha. Nagtataka ka nga, mataas tong level na dito kami nabaha. Napasok yung salas namin na basta nabaha yung sala. So madali naman natanggal naman yung mga mud. So yan nakikita mo naman maayos na uli Yung kliniko, yun ang hindi naabot. Walang nasira. Hindi kasi hanggang sa level lang ng gate namin sa clinic sa Marikina. Hindi kami nabaha doon, unlike Undoy nabaha. Kaya nga nagtataka ako, bakit nabaha ang Antipolo, mas higher doon kami as Marikina. Hindi kami nabaha sa Marikina eh. Ang nabaha doon, siguro inputs ko lang sa'yo, yung dental clinic na karamihan is located in Provident Village. Yan. Highly devastated yan. Mahirap makarecover kasi ang dental clinic eh. Kaya ang advice ko sa'yo, when you do dental practice, you get a dental clinic that is second floor or third floor. Yan. Sigurado, flood-free ka.
And last, can you give us an advice, a motivational or inspirational message for an aspiring dental student like us, a public dentist, and a military dentist like you, and also for the future private practitioner?
Okay. My advice as a future colleague Eventually, you'll become doctor. So I will call you Dr. Jenber Mojica and Dr. Vivian Daryl Taduran to become a good dental practitioner. Number one, serve the less fortunate, our kababayan, who need dental services, especially in Parplang area. Kasi I think uh, health profession is not a profit-oriented. We are service-oriented. Una, you have to serve your country. Service-oriented ka muna. After service-oriented, pag naka-baseline ka na, that's the time na, kasi kailangan rin natin ng monetary. Siyempre, financial. You have to build up your family. Siyempre, mag-service-oriented ka muna, i-lay down mo na yung foundation mo. Pag na-build up mo yan, susunod na yung profit. Pero pag inisip ng isang health profession is profit-oriented siya, definitely you will not succeed to your profession. Kasi magiging ang focus mo na lang is kumita. Pero dapat talaga service-oriented muna. Once you become a dentist, some of you will go to the government service, become a private practitioner, and members of the academy. Serve our country muna. Mas maganda if you are thinking of more lucrative dental profession, going to Canada, New Zealand, and the US, mag-service ka muna ng 3 years to your fellow countryman. After that, siyempre, it's a time na kumita ka na naman for your financial, to build up a family. But una, service mo na ang kababayan mo. At ang thinking ko, sabi nga ni Isko Moreno, God first. Ang ano ko lang, maraming salamat sa pag-interview mo. Although, medyo hindi, during that time, na-interview ako ni na Vivian sa office, face-to-face. Ngayon, virtual na tayo. Siguro, I pray to God na sana magkaroon na tayo ng real COVID vaccine. So, especially you guys, you can go back to the normal school, interact with your professor, your clinical supervisor, your co-student mo. Kasi mas maganda yung mahirap mag-aral na through electronics Especially ang dentist, ang kailangan ng dentist is to skill, yung dexterity mo. Dapat i-polish mo mabuti. Kasi mahirap i-explain sa pasyente, theoretical, ito ang gagawin kong pagpasta sa iyo. Pag sumakit yung pinastahan mo, mawawalan ka ng pasyente. Kaya dapat yung dexterity mo, i-polish mo, pagalingin mo ang iyong dental practice at definitely, yung mga pasyente mo will be the messiah in guiding other patient to come to your clinic na marami kang matutulungan. Pag marami kang natutulungan na tao, masasatisfied mo yung dental profession mo. At sa inyong dalawa na nag-interview kay Dr. Vivian Daryl Taduran, sa iyo Dr. Jenber Mojica, sana magkita-kita tayo during that time kasi naging president ako ng AAP Dental Chapter Ano ba to? 106, 110. Dapat itong May, ite-turn over ko yung leadership ko ng AAP Dental Chapter. Itong May 2020 and 2020. Unfortunately, nagkaroon tayo ng pandemic, hindi na turn over. So sana, magkita-kita tayo sa PDA at pag magkita tayo, ititreat nyo ako kasi you'll become doctors at that time. No. Sa SMX convention, di ba? Okay, ano pa? Maraming salamat at mabuhay kayong dalawa.
And last, Doc, it's your time to plug the clinic. Where are your clinic located? Your availability for appointments, clinical hours, and how the patient are appointed in your clinic.
Okay. Ang clinic, kasi nagkaroon tayo ng pandemic, ang clinic namin is Wednesday, Friday, at saka Saturday. We start at around 1 p.m. onwards. Ang clinic ko is located at 117 Manuel Rojas Street, Marikina City. Very near kami sa Banco de Oro, Kalumpang Branch, Marikina. Madali makita yung clinic kasi red gate yung clinic. Red gate kami. At with regards to online, ang schedule naman ng online is through personal message at saka other platform ng electronics. Madali na ngayon. Tapos, advice lang namin sa pasyente bago magpunta sa dental clinic, siyempre, dapat kausapin mo na yung dentist so ma-advisean ka what to do and what not to do before you go to our clinic. Kasi kung meron kang mataas ang temperature mo, definitely, hindi ka namin acceptin sa dental clinic. So, it will sayang ang oras, di ba? Sayang yung effort mo. So, mas maganda mag-usap muna tayo through text or sa PM. Yan lang, ang ano ko lang is, especially sa atin, kayo, magiging future dentist, stay safe and be healthy. So, you will help a lot of people.
And that's it for our interview, guys. In behalf of my groupmate, Ate Ana, we thank you so much, Dr. or Colonel Michael S. Chu, from the bottom of our hearts. So, thank you so much, Doc, and goodbye.